So the time is approaching. So basically, we need to get ready in 1 or so minutes. So time is limited for us today, but we will see. We might organize next time. It's open-ended. So basically, address longer discussions or particular discussions, dedicated discussions, or face-to-face meetings. So definitely we can address those as well. Okay. So it's 3 o'clock sharp. So it's time to start today's event, which is basically a meeting on artificial intelligence, deep learning, and related topics today. So my name is Agris Nikitenko. I'm from Riga Technical University. As I introduced shortly me previously, but I will go through it once again. So my personal background is artificial intelligence and robotics. Currently, I'm taking position as a full professor at Riga Technical University and as a dean of full administrator, let's put it so, of Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology. So the event or today's meetup is basically part of the series of meetings we're anticipating in near future. So this is the first one, sort of warming up. And therefore, probably some of the things we're trying the first time. So if something doesn't work or something is excellent, so please provide some feedback to Christina. She will be happy to have them, to read them through and make the events even more interesting in near future. So basically, our ultimate goal is to address those issues and probably challenges and probably some good examples of AI and technologies provided by different small, medium companies and probably some experienced companies as well, which might lead to a better world, let's put it so. So better, public administration, better e-services, better services in general. I'm fully aware of things that companies are doing. I mean, majority of companies. However, sometimes there is a question which strikes my mind: why all of those things, or at least major part of those things, are not available yet? So most probably there are some regulation issues. Most probably there are some technology issues or challenges that might be addressed. And probably it's acceptance problems of the general society. So we're not probably ready to accept those solutions. And probably there are some other things that we might warm up, that we might highlight and address in near future. Us as a project, we're looking into those matters for one particular reason. So we're building up a study program for masters. And we would like to bridge through the studies those technology gaps and probably knowledge and literacy gaps in AI through those study courses, through those meetups that we're currently organizing, to better address those topics that are needed for our companies to make, as I said, our future better. So that is my general introduction to what is our ultimate goal and why we have asked you to join us, and we are really happy to have you here today. And I will go through the agenda, what we're having today. So we are going to have, I would say, several presentations from our companies, our guests. We're happy for them. So we are really thankful that you agreed to share what you're doing. And afterwards, we're having for 1 hour approximately an open-ended discussion. So what does it mean? So it's open for you to intervene with your questions and probably your sharing your experiences, as well as me and my colleague Viesturs, he is about to join us. And we have our questions, so our vision, probably seeing for those things happening in industry from a side, and probably we would love to share what we have noticed, and that's how this discussion could go on. Anyway, we don't have a strict plan. So what does it mean? So it's, as I said, it's open. So everyone who wants to share or wants to question something to each other, or probably us, so definitely go on and raise your hand, and definitely you will have a word to speak up. So if there are no other questions, so probably we could very fast go through the participants and just introduce ourselves, what we are and what we are doing, and yeah. So Agris, that's me, and I'm seeing the next is probably Christina. Could you lead the way, Christina, please, for us?
Sure. So I will just quickly announce the company that will present and the representative, and after this we can start with them. So the first one, it will be Exacaster, and Eustace will do the presentation from their side. So the floor is yours.
Hello. Just to better understand, so do I start the presentation now or first do a round of introductions and then we present?
So as you wish, so you can introduce yourself. So while we're seeing full of your face, and then afterwards you can go on with your presentation. So which
I have even a slide about myself, but I will not spend a lot of time there. So yeah, let's start. As correctly introduced, I am representing Exacaster. I'm Eustace Jankūnas. I'm leading artificial intelligence and machine learning area at Exacaster. Today I will quickly introduce who we are. I will also introduce what is and what is not generative AI in case some people are not, let's say, very familiar with that. Then I will talk briefly what to consider when adopting Gen AI for the first time in case you are just starting with that. And then I will talk about, let's say, latest trend, buzzword, agentic approach in generative AI, and that will conclude my presentation. I will try to fit into those 5 or 6, 7 minutes, which are for me. So who is Exacaster? Exacaster is a big data and data analytics company. We have around 80 or a bit more employees across several countries like Lithuania, Bulgaria, India, and we work with data. In data area, we do business intelligence and data management. So we work with data, we do AI and machine learning. Under that, we participate in Merit project, but also we have separate projects with other companies, specifically in data science area. And we also do customer value management based on data and data-driven decisions. Now, what is this generative AI and what is not? I think since this buzzword come into place, people how powerful that is, and everything, any prediction, everything is now generative AI. But what I want always to stress to the clients is that there are different things. Things like supervised learning. Can we recognize? Is it a cat? Is it a dog? So that is not generative AI. We should use different type of algorithms for that. Another piece would be unsupervised learning. Maybe some clustering, maybe something else. Again, different algorithms unrelated to generative AI. And third big piece of problems to solve in AI and data science would be by using reinforced learning. So having some AI punishing if it does something wrong and giving additional points if it does something right. For example, AI can learn to play chess by playing itself. So that would be reinforced learning. So all of these things are very different from generative AI, which the main purpose of generative AI is actually to create convincing content, but it might not be correct. Most probably, if you tried using it, quite often it just hallucinates. The things which it answers to you, they are not correct. Or if it generates image, it also might not be correct. If you ask, generate me a picture of Vilnius, if you are not a local in Vilnius, you might think, okay, that looks convincing picture, that's how Vilnius looks. But if you are local, you will say, wait, this place does not exist. So that's the generative AI. Generate convincing text, generate convincing images, generate convincing sounds, and so on. Now, how do we adopt that in businesses? And as Exacaster, we help companies to do this, to start their journey with generative AI internally in their processes. So usually the process follows very, very similar approach to any other data science project. First, we do some requirements understanding. We call that Gen AI consulting. So understand what is the problem, what do we want to solve, any other requirements. when we set up the infrastructure which is needed to run everything, this infrastructure could exist already, so maybe then this step could be skipped. When we develop the GenAI process itself, if you are just comparing with regular data science project, that could be developing a machine learning model, and when we run operations. So that looks pretty similar process to any other data science project. However, when we are talking about GenAI, and be careful, think about several additional things which are very important topics when you start, especially when generative AI as a theme as a topic is pretty new. So for example, how to select the right stack for your problem, how to choose the correct foundation model, because there are so many of them, how to evaluate cost. One solution could be very, very cheap. Another solution could be very, very expensive just because you chose another model. Do you have data available and how to access that data? And maybe the most important, does this process give a positive business impact? Can you achieve something with it in your area, with having generative AI in your daily processes? So we do that together with our clients. If you do that alone, you also most probably would follow the similar steps, and it would be very important to answer those questions on the top. How we do that? We always recommend to do this in quick iterations in terms of quick proof of concepts, because it's still R&D phase for most of the companies, and then only when going to production. So iterate a lot, build something. What you see on the screen, it actually looks complicated, but in most of the cloud environments, it's pretty easy to start and build such a process. Build your document store, build your RAG process, use some kind of embedding models to put everything into vector database, test if that gives you a good or better answer than pure LLM model, and then iterate, keep improving, find a way where you can achieve the biggest additional value, incremental value. So that would be the typical project. Sorry, I'm going pretty quick. Now, what is agentic approach? I don't know if many of you heard this. This has started to be in the industry around maybe 6 months ago when people started talking more about it. So now it's a pretty hot topic for people who work in GenAI area. So what is that? Imagine how you interact with large language model. On the left-hand side, most probably is a traditional approach, how most of us use it or used it until now. You ask something for the model, write a paragraph, write an essay on topic X, and you get an answer. It generates the answer in single iteration. In the agentic workflow, what happens is that it is not a single iteration, but there is some process, like a chain of steps. So for example, if you ask a model or some process to write an essay on topic X, so first, maybe some outline has to be prepared. After the outline is prepared, maybe for some steps in that outline, the GenAI model needs to check, to research, Google the internet, find some information, and later on use that information. Then maybe we need to write a first draft for each subsection, and maybe after we have all the subsections written, we need to review, like iterate once more and fix some language. And all of that would be done by several large language models running in loop. Traditionally, such steps are one of the 4 areas. So one would be reflection step. That would be basically large language model checking outcome of itself. So you ask something for a model, you get an answer, you give answer to the model and say, check if it is correct. And sometimes that already allows model to find mistakes in its answer. Then another option would be to give possibility to use external tools. Once you ask a model for some question, the model can have access to various APIs, check what's the weather in Vilnius, execute Python code, and so on. That also improves quality of answers. Third area would be planning. So now a lot of investment is happening. How can we plan this process? How can we ask LLM model first to plan the process and then execute each individual step? And multi-agent collaboration. The most, let's say, advanced option would be to have several LLMs working with each other and looping until they believe the result is correct. For example, there is this GPT researcher example, which already shows that, how that is done. To research like a small research paper, you ask a question, it Googles, it summarizes the findings, and so on. Does it really work? Based on various evaluation frameworks, it seems it works. So for example, if you have GPT 3.5, the previous generation OpenAI models, and you use this agentic approach, the result is already better than GPT-4. So that already shows just by having this agentic approach that you can improve your models a lot. And that could even mean that if you use GPT-4o, the latest from OpenAI, it could be even better than future GPT-5. So that was all from my side. Sorry, it was pretty short, but I know we are tight on time. If you are interested to know more about this, you can always connect to me directly. And I don't know what would be next. Do we have any questions time, or how do we proceed?
So the questions can be written in the chat. And if you agree, I asked all the presenters, we will post the presentation and we can get you in contact with who wants to get in contact with you. So it's no problem. Thank you, Eustace. So next it will be FBK Research Institution, represented by Muhammad.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we do. Go on.
Okay. So I am Mohammed. So I am working as a researcher in FPT, and I am also part of the Merit project. And today I will discuss about the conversible agents can help to get things done. So basically, this is an advanced approach, as my previous colleague discussed about the agentic approach. So I will go through the objective as a research perspective. What are the objectives? What I want to develop in my research area, and what is the limitations are. And okay, the objective of I want to develop, I mean, in my research area to agents like they can reusable, customizable, and effectiveness to facilitate multi-agent collaboration in addressing customer uses. As we saw in our previous presentations, we have a lot of use cases we can address, but the limitation is are the agents can actually communicate with each other, they can share information, they can reason, and they can plan for the future with a good intuition. Additionally, I aim is to establish methods for evaluating the proficiency in handling real-world challenges and limitations. So the current framework in the market for the integration of AI in real-time use cases is like that. We need a problem, and then we need to select a tool for that problem. So we have a lot of tools available in the market. There are some are the open source, some are the closed source, and then we need to interact with the tools. And then again, we need to reflect with the experience. So this is a framework we can adopt to handle any real-time use cases, especially in education, if we want to address, and in manufacturing. So what we want to develop, we want an agent. That agent can formulate problem for us. They can select tool on the basis of their ability, and then he can interact with these tools. Like he can generate code, he can write architecture for the software, and also can generate the report of that software, and then reflect on the basis of that output with a different experience. So I mean, in the market, we can see that this is like we have framework of the multi-agent systems. They can communicate like we have left side the generative AI, and they have a brain. We can use that. This already trained language model, and then we can communicate this information to our already customizable agents. so they can communicate with each others and they can plan the activities, and each agent have individual tasks, and then they access with the tools, and then they can also have a resources with that. We can say that we have a RAG and all these available techniques, and at the end we have a human. So human is a very important in that sense. Like we have example from Valenstick. If we write prompt to the model, so if he give us the picture of the city we are living, so we recognize very well. If we are not, then we cannot. So then, I mean, we can say that the reinforcement learning with the human feedback techniques we can use to give some uh, new rewards. What is the positive reward, the negative reward? So, what are the solutions or what are the potentials we can gain from this multi-agent, especially with the conversations? Because in our real-time use cases, conversation is a very important part for the team for the completion of any task. So, by leveraging multi-agent AI, we can create systems that can not only assist human experts but also drive scientific inquiry and engineering problem solving on their own. Like administrators, we have a planner, we have an assistant engineer, we have a scientist, we have executors, we have a critic, and the chat managers. So they can plan their activities and all these things. Like in this picture, we can see that we have a team of agents. They are generating material informatics modeling thinking. This is our latest paper. I read that and also have a link of that. We can see that expand from the single inference steps to include multiple modelings of data response, including physics and real-world feedback, self-assessment and self-learning, discovery of principles or solving specific tasks, biology paradigms or bioinspired neural networks. So, I mean, we can create each agent for each task, and they can communicate with each other to come up with the final solution. So these are, we can say that the solutions they are going to provide us if we are going to develop that type of agentic system. So what are the limitations of these systems are many current AI models face limitations due to their passive approach to acquire knowledge because they are gaining that knowledge from already trained data set, and that is technique we can say that a RAG we can use, R plus also we can use from different providers. These models excel in inferences and generating new ideas within their trained data sets. However, they lack the capability to autonomously conduct empirical tests to validate their hypothesis. So this is the limitation they have. They can suggest hypotheses and possibilities, but cannot independently verify them against real-world physical reality. So these are the limitations we need to address for the future develop if we are really interested to develop systems for real-time use cases. So what are my recommendations? What I am feeling like that after all these readings and real-time use cases, after a lot of practice and developing my own application, so everything cannot be happen successfully at once. It takes time to create a new normal, but don't let fear hold you back from the progress. So these are my findings. I mean, we need to test, we need to test, we need to test and learn new things. So if you have any questions, so I will be very happy to answer your questions during our discussions. Even then, if anybody want to reach out to me after that, I will also love to discuss what are the future trends and what I can contribute. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mohammed, for your presentation. I think we could go on and finishing all the others, and then we can open the questioning session. Let's put it so, and then we can go through some discussions on those matters.
So I would invite Ramon from Nuclea to present next.
Okay, so first of all, good afternoon to everybody. I'm Ramon Navarro. I'm an ex-professor at Barcelona Tech University, and I'm also computer science and mathematics. And I would like to talk about Nuclea. Nuclea is a project company that we have 4 years already. We started in Barcelona, and now it's a VC-backed company from VCs in UK and in France. We are in production. Our main goal is to deliver RAG as a service, fully automated, and we have a lot of clients in US and some clients in Europe. And my goal is to explain a bit which is the specifics, why Nuclea is super useful right now and what our clients are looking at us. And it's mostly to make sure that privacy and data governance, when you're trying to build a product that requires RAG, it's fully compliant, and we have data centers in Europe and data centers in US to make sure that everything it's like that. So first, Nuclea has three main components. One, we have a fully aware of most of the content types possible, from, of course, PDFs, Word, Excel, PowerPoints, and this kind of standard documents, to something much more crazy like AutoCAD, research, chemistry documents. Anything that it's in a structure can be ingested onto Nuclea, and everything it's normalized and distributed to be able to be ingested in our open source storage layer. It's NucleaDB. You can check it on GitHub. It's quite robust, powerful, and resourceful database that can support knowledge graph search, vector search, and full text search all at the same time, and with a full blob support and preview support and a lot of different strategies that I'm going to discuss. Finally, we deliver the glue between the storage layer and the ingestion layer and the LLMs, which it's our RAG orchestrator, really powerful piece of software that connects your data with the different LLMs and provide from agentic to JSON output to data augmentation and different kind of functionality on top of these RAG strategies. We are delivering all this technology and all these features via an API, and our main goal is to be super useful for people and researchers who are building application that requires RAG, and so they can focus on the value proposition that they are delivering and not needing to understand the kind of data and how to connect everything. So on the ingestion side, we are super focused on being really fast with all this kind of data. We have a lot of own algorithms, models, able to process audio, video, images, PDFs. So we have a really custom private split strategy that works really well with all kind of LLMs. We support on-prem and cloud, all managed. We have support for, I think, the 20 different embedding models, from the private one, Google, OpenAI, to the open source one, to the state-of-the-art, Colbert, and all these kind of more sparse strategies. We are able to extract all the entities and all the relations. We have the semantic splitter. We are able to generate the preview. So at search time, you're able to point the user to the proper source document that it's answering your question. We deliver, as I said, everything with an SDK, a Python SDK, and a JavaScript SDK, and an HTTP API. And we provide an ingestion time to be able to generate new synthetic data. Like, for example, I'm sending a lot of invoices and I want to extract the invoice number and the total, and want to send to another system, to another BI, or any other system. At the storage layer, as I said, it's an open source database, really powerful. You can check it out. You can use it yourself. It's built in Rust and in Python. We provide managed service. We provide hybrid search with BM25 and embedding systems, knowledge graph search to provide the availability to send as context, the knowledge graph relations. It's designed for scaling. It's designed for cloud and on-prem. You can even run your own laptop if you want, and has a full API to have the CRUD of all the different objects that there is on the database. Finally, at the retrieval augmented generation side, we support a lot of different LLMs, from Google Gemini to OpenAI models in Azure, in OpenAI Service, Anthropic, Mistral. We provide self-hosting or fine-tuned with LoRa models to provide hosting of open source models. We have connectors with Hugging Face to have Hugging Face inference layers. We also are able to provide everything locally. We have a lot of really privacy companies like hospitals, banks that are using our system fully locally. And we unify all the costs for all the different LLMs and different services around this ecosystem. Of course, we have back-off ways of providing metrics of all the RAG questions. You can check which questions were not good enough at retrieval time, at generative time, and so you know what kind of data is missing on your database. And we also provide the option to have JSON output, so you can have more deterministic queries that are being able to ingest on a BI. Nuclea, in a nutshell, it's quite simple. You ingest data, everything is stored on this database that can be deployed on-prem. It's open source, then it connects to the different LLMs, and at such time you can retrieve this data and generate the answers. We have some no-code tools like a widget, so you can have a really easy way of testing it. Sign up at nuclea.cloud, super simple, no friction. You have a free tier, free test period. You can try it out and see, and then if you want to go deeper, you can talk with our developer engineers and the developer representatives that are going to help develop your final product. Most important use cases we have right now in our clients is people who wants to integrate GenAI and RAG onto their existing products, people who are building new crazy AI products that do the crazy conversational retrieving, managing all kind of different files and being able to retrieve with security, and enterprise search that it's really the standard use case where it's quite simple, department knowledge management and integration of different sources of information. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ramon.
Great, thanks for presentation. Indeed, very interesting. Thanks.
If you have questions for Ramon, please put them in the chat and he could answer in the discussion after. Now I invite Matis from Asia AI. If you are with us.
Yes, I am with us. I will now quickly put on the presentation.
Thank you.
Yep. Is the correct screen visible or not?
Yes, we can see it. We can hear you.
You see the presentation. Everything's good. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So really good. So hello, my name is Matis, and I'm representative from Asia AI. And Asia is actually an artificial intelligence research and development design studio located in Baltics. And we also have like a lot of deep connections with RTU, where a lot of our research is done, where actually students can participate in the research, and we also help with their researches towards like their more academic performance. And today I actually would like to focus on artificial intelligence and just show how these researches can be applied in business cases and how to make those researches more profitable. And first of all, we already a lot more talked about generative AI. And I actually would like to show that before generative AI was actually coming, AI was just some kind of mystical, some kind of reasoning. And there were actually a lot of trends going on, which jobs will be taken over by AI. And a lot of them were like those manual labor jobs like cashier, translator, stockings, cleaners, things like that, which actually grew to be based on the assumption that AI will be some kind of physical robot that will do the job itself. And those like more creative professions were thought to be really safe bets for everyone. But when the generative AI actually came, it showed be quite different, because everything, all of the creations, all of the creative like images, stock photos, graphics, and designs were actually 1 or 2 prompts away from you. And that showed be completely different, that actually those projects which required manual labor were more likely to be, let's say, more protected, as the AI was unable to do that. It's more like better generating things. And actually the previous assumption, as I can actually hear about for GenAI, can be really deeply associated with these old type of chatbots, which are like quite rule-based, quite let's say, unintelligent, and just answers based on kind of on many if rules, which can be actually manually updated or even generated or just used in some kind of really old-fashioned way. And this assumption came from there. And when the generative AI came, when all of the ChatGPT breakout was, which we everyone know what is ChatGPT, and there's actually also came, I think, to make your own custom agent based on large language models, and they are all really good, but except the fact that those large language models are language models. They are not like factual models. They are not that intelligent. They just know how to convert something to a text. And when you give them, like, let's say, a whole lot of information based on many PDFs or documents or landing pages, things like that, they can actually find something in them, but they cannot give like any direct, let's say, answers. They are just using some kind of description based on these documents, which can be quite lengthy, and in the end actually does not like improve the process at all. And that thing is that where those RAG agents came into the place, which are actually well made together with RTU, and there's a lot of research done, which actually can work better with knowledge base and compute, like convert all of the client's questions to some facts, and actually convert them to concept vectors to see and find actually things based on the documentation basis in a much more precise way, even ask precising questions and get away from those rule-based agents, and also use language models only just to formulate the end answer to the client. So, for instance, I can show here, which is like a good example of form filling, that it is possible just to order things based on the chatbot. There's no need to call a human anymore, and it can be actually done really easily because a lot of people actually are extroverts and they do not like calling people. And if you can do that with a chatbot, which actually you can say what you want, and the actual chatbot, and then just precise whether it like validates you as a client, asks your registration numbers, things like that, you can actually often like automate the process of the manual labor, which is quite easily. It's automated, not that hard, and allows like people to be more on like for humans to work on more like efficient and more material basis. And this is just one of the examples on this. It's possible to see that it's an example of ordering wooden planks based on chatbot, which is actually not possible before RAG models and even LLMs, which are used to formulate the answers. In this case, the agent has just a knowledge base of like product database, in which you can access, check out the prices, know the information needed, and then just fill out the purchase forms, which can then be later on translated to the customer managers, which can actually finish the purchase or even automate it even more. And the same goes actually for the employee training, which is quite a heavy example on modern base on most like client-specific jobs, like client support, product management, and even sales jobs. And people are required to have like knowledge about the product they are working with. And for new trainees, actually, this training is quite an inefficient, proven to be quite an inefficient process. And that means that by automating, it's possible just to get the trainee more up to speed on their job without taking time of more experienced colleagues, which actually costs quite a lot to the company. That a colleague needs to work with a new guy rather than just focusing on their work, which brings in company some revenue. And this can be also automated using RAG models and these all other kinds of language models in RAG virtual agents together with large language models. And actually, one of the best examples I can show on these RAG agents, which can be done, is that on the real estate. There are many real estate agents, many people looking for specific kinds of real estate. For let's say, I know a lot of people in Latvia are looking for a nice home in countryside, me included, for a nice plot of land in the countryside near food or something like that. But nobody really wants to spend their whole day just looking at SS.com or other popular real estate marketplaces to check it out for the right ads come up. And that can also be automated with these agents. That when the ad comes up, it can be all of the questions and email process can be automated to really go out and filter all of these deals using human touch and human interface. That the people has to work only with the real potential agents and or just to book meetings or book like estate bookings with only the qualified estates, qualified advertisements, and qualified agents. And this really just ensure that AI is used as it should, as it's strong in one of its strongest forms. And this research on the done it has only been done through RTU. And yeah, in the end, I just want to really say that it's not smart to run away from AI in the workspace. It needs to be embraced and mastered. So otherwise, it'll be just like those trusses, which are just hiding their hand in the sand, and while the train and the danger is coming. So yeah, thank you for your attention. I was Matis, and if you want to contact me, sure, feel free to write to the email you see on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Matis. It was a great presentation. So I guess we can move over to the next presentation. So I am asking Razvan from RISIS to share his presentation if he's with us.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it. We can hear you. So everything is great.
Okay, so you can see my screen, yeah? Okay. I am
Yes.
Razvan. I'm the founder of RISIS Software. RISIS Software is a company from northern Romania. We are a digital transformation company and custom software development. Today, I will discuss about AI in the labor market. And I will present our company first. So as I said, we do software development, website development, e-commerce development, and mobile apps development. We are founded in 2019, and we mostly do software for companies. We optimize processes for different companies in different industries. This is those are some pictures from our headquarters, and this is our custom and our proprietary CRM software. Is a CRM that has also operational module. So we combine the CRM data with the operational processes for in a company. As case studies, we have developed also SaaS products for our clients. So, for example, M2M is a SaaS ERP platform for the real estate industry. These are some pictures. Darex is another CRM platform for a big company here in northern region of Romania. And the ECVR that digitized the small claim procedure in Romania. It's for the juridic part. The impact of artificial intelligence on the labor market. At first, I want to demystify the artificial intelligence. I think you are acquainted with these terms already, but I wanted to remind a bit about it. So artificial intelligence is the creation of algorithms and systems that can perform tasks that can normally require human intelligence. So from voice recognition to prediction, AI is transforming the world we live in. So as my colleagues told before, the application of artificial intelligence are in chatbots, autonomous cars, facial recognition, and the recommendations. Nowadays, we are all acquainted with the GPT and the LLMs, but the artificial intelligence is much more than this. So this term is defined from many years. What are the benefits of artificial intelligence? AI provides data-driven decision, automation of repetitive processes, quick solutions to complex problems, and personalization of interaction with users. It opens new possibilities in the businesses. and everyday life. So this is how AI can impact the labor market. So it can help the decision making by data, and also can automate some the repetitive processes that are in the daily use. Also, there are some ethics and disputes in the AI sector. For example, bias and discrimination. The AI is trained with data that comes from human are biased. So bias is a problem in the answers that a chatbot can bring to clients. Also, data security is another factor that is taken into consideration. The automation of jobs and responsibility. So AI is transforming industries from AI-assisted medical diagnosis to optimization of transport routes and financial analysis. Artificial intelligence is redefining the way industries operate, bringing innovation and efficiency. So what RISES did in the AI industry in the last year, we started to study the integration of AI in a medical software product. So you've seen before that we have a product that is a CRM. We are now building another a CRM for the medical industry, and we try to help doctors in streamline the scripting diagnostic process at the end of the consultation. What problems do we have here is that the terms that AI should recognize and should interpret are medical terms, so we should be very careful with this kind of terms, and to have also the responsibility that we should take into account. So other challenges in the AI industry: data quality and quantity and robustness and reliability. AI must be robust and reliable under all circumstances. The failure of a diagnostic AI system can have serious consequences for the health of patients. So what happens if AI is wrong? So who is blamed for it? So that's why we should be very careful in this feature that we want to implement. It is essential that these systems are well tested and validated under real condition of use. Ethical and legal challenges: transparency and explainability, and data privacy. And practical challenges are acceptance and trust. So doctors and patients must trust AI system to effectively use them. So building this trust takes time, and clear evidence of the system's benefits and reliabilities takes time. Future challenges in AI: acceptance and trust. Physicians and patients must trust the AI system to effectively use them. Rapid evolution of technology, and also bias, as I said before. So thank you for listening today. Looking forward to
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Răzvan. I will introduce our next speaker, which is Yuri from Caltech University. If you are with us.
Yes. I try to show PowerPoint. So I try to share, but I don't see here should be screen, yeah?
If you
I see. Screen, yeah?
I should have your presentation if you want me to just share it. And you just tell me when to move to the next
No,
slide.
I can share it. I can
Okay.
share it. Do you see already?
We see the
Stop.
Teams. Probably if you close this tab, we will be able to see the presentation. Now we see the presentation.
Yeah. Okay. So I am Jüri Mäek, professor from TalTech, and my topic is a little bit different. I am using AI in optimization mostly, but some features are the same. My background is mathematics and IT, but I am working long time in Faculty of Engineering. So short outline, traditional vice versa global optimization methods, then current some AI activities. They cover mostly optimization algorithms, but also a little bit function approximation, which is needed also inside optimization, and future challenges and potential in Estonia. And finally, conclusions. Very shortly about AI-based global optimization methods and gradient-based traditional optimization methods. As you can see, here the green advantages and this AI-based global optimization methods like genetic algorithm, particle swarm optimization, ant colony optimization, all nature-based methods, they are quite powerful. And they have ability to find global extremes. They have ability. They don't need to differentiation of functions, and also they can handle integer, discrete, and mixed integer variables. Only bad thing is that we need to pay for all this power, and we need to pay in computing time. So they are more slow. And it is, of course, very, very understandable because we are working with population in AI-based methods. And in gradient methods, we are working with one solution. To work with one solution is obviously more fast than work with population, which may be some 50, 100, even more. So it's like by definition more slow, but more powerful approach. So I have a master course on topic optimization methods and artificial intelligence, and it is based on this. Also, some applications of AI for SMA. Here are three three general applications. First is glass canopy panel. Here is made optimization of fastening locations, also thicknesses of layers of laminate, and here is used genetic algorithms mostly. Some second sample was here, I do not see well, permanent magnet generator, and here we have optimized mostly the geometrical parameters, different geometrical parameters. And this optimization problem had several criteria. It's multi-criteria optimization. So here is shown Pareto front, where in one axis is effectiveness, it is cost-based effectiveness, and other are combined criteria, combined objectives. Here are combined mechanical characteristics together because they are not contradictive. For Pareto front, we select such objectives which are contradictive, because in case of contradictive, Pareto front is very informative. And third small example shown here is design of smart materials. So we need to add some electronic components inside composite materials to catch information and to collect information. So here is also optimized the form of this nest or hosting of electronic component. It was most old project. Everything was like fine, but the final result was not so fine yet because electronic component appears bigger than we expected. And here, in some cases, appears delamination of composite structure. Also, very shortly about some few case studies. One case study is modeling Keil content in solar panel. Estonian company NAP Solar OÜ. It is a small company. General structure of silicon-based solar cell and artificial neural network model. Our dataset was extremely small. We have like 16 dataset. So very simple feed-forward artificial neural network model was used, where input was temperature and pressure, processing time, and output was Keil content. And as a result, we get the mathematical model. Here is presented this model in form of response modeling, and of course also mean square error. Some other case study was found optimum path for design of autonomous mobile robot. In this slide is shown a general model, and we have start, we have loading points, array of loading points. Here is 2, but of course it can be more. And we have unloading points. Here is also 2, but it can be more. We have maintenance, and the finish is at the same point where we start. It is not separately indicated. And these are distances here. So we need to define optimal path, and first here are 2 stages of design. First, we should design what we need to do, depending in which point we need to take some product and which place we need to bring it. And after this, we can perform design optimization. And here was used ant colony optimization because it is much faster than general genetic algorithm. And also here is effective some combinatorial algorithms. And optimal path is shown in red color. So actually we have maybe not such general approach as in previous, we have seen today in previous lectures, were a very systematic approach. Our solutions are typically from some company, and they are like use case based. Like if somebody needs something, we try to do it. So this we have more such similar cases for SMA or solutions, but they are not so systematic approach. And of course, our feature is like design optimization mostly. Machine learning is used for approximating objective and constraint functions, but machine learning is not here the first importance thing. And here is just some conclusion, future challenges. We are working also on cluster analysis. We are starting work also on like decision, this is decision-making methods is a little bit different. We have also some research papers, but one new topic is like object detection. Yeah, here is introduced it. Object detection models, and they are some company needed to put it work in real time. And final conclusion, we can say that in our case, the AI tools in optimization, artificial neural networks or evolutionary algorithms together form powerful platform for solving wide range of engineering design problems. But from other side, of course, for particular problem of class of problems, we need to tuning this optimization algorithm. If we have some simple gradient method, we can just run it most commonly. But in case of AI, we need some tuning for particular problem. And it's all. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much, Yuri. I will announce the next speaker, which is Evelyn, also from Caltech University.
All right. While I find my sharing, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. thank you for all the presentations before me as well. It's been really refreshing to listen to you. And thank you very much, Yuri, for your previous presentation, as I feel like I'm going to touch it a little bit as well, or at least how we work in general. And I'm Evelyn Ebruk, and I'm from AI and Robotics Estonia, which is actually Estonian state-funded, and it's half of the funding is from Estonian state, and the rest of it is from EU. And we have been funded to help Estonian industrial and manufacturing companies, and we are all aware that Estonia has a really good public sector success story in integrating public sector services in X-Road and etc. And this is very good in our digitalization overall. But our manufacturing and private sector has been lagging behind, and hence Estonia has its second jump where they're trying to get ahead and to help Estonian manufacturing companies to implement AI and robotics-based solutions. And I'll be focusing on mostly how we actually work and give a broad overview of what is the impact as well, and how we scale what we do, and give few examples of our AI-based projects that we've done in industry as well. And how we operate then is that we have a consortium as well, but we're also working really tightly together with the Estonian Ministry of Economics and Communication, and we are led by TalTech, and actually TalTech is the leading partner, and it's a example of how we cover the whole Estonia with our services that I'm going to really briefly introduce as well, together with University of Tartu, that is in the southern part of Estonia, University of Life Sciences, and then we also have 2 science parks, and then a partnering private sector robotics and engineering systems competence center. And we also have associating partners that we work really closely together with. And this is, I guess, the biggest secret, this, or not secret, or the success of our work and behind the cross-sector innovation, that we have Enterprise Estonia and the unions, for example, the Manufacturing Union and ICT Union, and also Tallinn City and Tartu City in South Estonia, that we have put it all together. We come together fortnightly. We have quarterly meetings, and we work really tightly just for this one target, that is Estonian manufacturing companies, and we also exchange all the clients, and that's how we roll. And on top of that, EIRA is part of European Digital Innovation Network, with whom we also share knowledge between each other, and we also share various services, meaning that if Estonia is doing really good in one part, and let's say Finns are really good in data, then we do not need to duplicate anything, or we do not need to duplicate the knowledge, but we can send our companies directly to the best for consulting and new insights in other countries that are also in the network. So our biggest partners so far are Germany, Sweden, and Finland, that we've been working closely together. And to get the awareness around as well in the company, or for the companies, we do a lot of different webinars on topics that touch AI. And we had a recent webinar with Lufthansa Industry Solutions, together with autonomous driving solution provider Cleven in Estonia, on the topic of trustworthy AI. And the head of Lufthansa, the head of AI in Lufthansa, Mikael Koch, brought out brilliant examples of their doings as well. And these are the webinars and events that we do together with other network partners, and they're coming out all year around except for the summer. but if you're interested, you can see from the next year or this fall coming where you can see fit to join any of these in as well, because they are really interesting, and we get the top of the heads from the industry to discuss their specific use cases in industry for our target market as well. And we have core services like AI suitability assessment and robotic suitability assessment that we provide for the companies that are actually the main input for our Test Before Invest AI projects that we do inside the companies. And the demonstration projects is the more than half of our budget as well. So we put a lot of effort to deploy the thoughts that, or not the thoughts, or the problems and the novel ideas that companies could have in their business processes. And as I already mentioned, we're working really tightly together with the private sector and public sector, and the ideas and the expert analysis from the industry is actually coming from private sector that is recruited. They have the greatest overview that's going on and the expert knowledge inside the industry. So they do the analysis. We inside the university see where there are university teams that could tackle a problem that is also applicable for the university research group. And then we go in and do those 5 to 6 months Test Before Invest projects with companies. And as we already mentioned, or was mentioned by other presenters, that AI has been a hype now. But a few years ago, when we started, actually 3 years ago, it was really hard to even get with this topic to the target market. We knew that it was important to get there, but the awareness was really low. So how we started out was that we have still going these monthly Aira club events where we get the use case presentations out directly from industry. And it's a place where we always have either presentations or panel discussions, and all stakeholders can come together. They're the industry workers, they're the leaders, the partners from university, also scientists, and they can all discuss on the ground of how they can help one another. And we always try to make them in companies' factories as well. So we're actually not making them in a dull place, but we always try to find a good example of where to get them through. And another example, when we're going to go more in depth, is that we have Raiku Packaging in Estonia. It's a example of a company that has gone through the whole service package in Aira, and the product itself is this wrapping or packaging piece that is meant for fragile or niche objects. And it's a good example in that sense of how a future product and manufacturing would look like, meaning that the object itself that is going to be produced has a circular life cycle, yet the way how we produce it is a smart operation. And this is one of the examples of how we work together with the industry. And Raiku, when they first started, they only had a prototype and they had a really good knowledge and awareness behind it. Yet where we've come today is that they've gone from having just a prototype within a year of being through the services, 7 million from EU to build their first factory. And what we have done there with them, for example, is that we've had 2 demonstration or Test Before Invest projects with them, where they where we have helped them how in business optimization, or how they're going to manufacture it. Because when L'Oreal, for example, asks them for a quote, then they already want, let's say, 2 tons of the wrapping paper altogether. But to manufacture so much of this wood with a really short time period is complicated. So it's all the smartness of how to manufacture something really quickly. So this is where the AI has come in their case. So it's the manufacturing process optimization and layout of the factory, as well as with simulation, as well as the smart business streamlining. And all the demonstration projects are out in our website as well. It's called aire.eu, and there's this project nest for different use cases that are currently in works, and also that are already finished, and they have videos next to it as well of their use cases. And another simple example, and this is the last one, is that we have a metal sheet manufacturing company called Valdec in around Tallinn area, and simple and novel use case of applying machine vision has been in their case that if you have, or they have in the warehouse different cameras, and with the existing camera feeds, and with the live stream together, in the Daltech scientist team combined a machine vision platform or computer vision platform for the manufacturing, where the machine vision algorithm that is built on optical flow can actually spot the incoming and outcoming materials in the manufacturing. So meaning that AI can really simply help us today with not having to buy new equipment, but we can really well integrate and apply it already on existing software and devices. So really simple solutions, yet something that hadn't been done before. So these are the simple yet very novel ideas that we support and try to find inside the companies. And currently, within just 1.5 years, we have already started 45 projects as such. So yeah, we work together with the whole Estonia public sector and also with the government. So it wouldn't be as successful to do all of this if you do it alone. So we've put together the university knowledge as well as the private sector and the clusters and unions to get the straight ideas outside what is needed from the manufacturing industry, and so on and so forth. And our next steps are in healthcare. But this is where we're at today. Thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn. So I guess we can move to the collaborative discussion that will be led by Agris and Viesteras. So I invite them to be the one that take over the discussion.
Okay. Thanks, Christina. Thanks to everyone who were presenting, and be patient to listen presentations. To my mind, at least few of them were absolutely exciting. So, I would like to emphasize some of a few things I noticed to me, and probably to open up the discussion before we start questioning each other and probably discussing things. Definitely what I found out is that there are lots of potential applications which are out there. There are lots of cases which already are being reported by you presenters. Some of them, not some of them, at least a few companies are really sort of focusing on generative AI and RAG systems as a heart of the whole solution. So basically addressing, let's put it so, free communication to the AI systems or AI found systems. I also learned about, I would say, engineering things which are on optimization and related. why I would like specifically point out is that it was very scientific. Let's put it so, sort of a presentation, but as a result of projects and things, applications. But on the other hand, that is something that is not very well covered by AI at the moment. So meaning it's rather well defined to talk about documents, to modify pictures, to generate some stuff, music, but engineering is out there. So that is sometimes bringing the whole value chains for different industries, and basically interpretation of engineering files, interpretation of engineering drawings. So it's pretty challenging at the moment, at least as I see it. So we can dive into those discussions. I don't know, Viesturs, did you notice something interesting for you? So that was my remarks or my notes.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Hopefully that I'm being heard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even have been seen. It's a great success. I would probably, as a person from purely a business background. I'm not an engineer, nor the IT engineer, nor the hardware engineer or anything, or even less the scientists. I would thank you for interesting abbreviations. I already Googled some, so it actually really added to my horizon of things I know in this life, for which I'm very thankful. But I would like probably, as if you allow me, as being from a business background, I would probably pick up the thing which I heard from Muhammad, who said that, quote, "the creating the new normal takes time." This is an interesting statement, and I would like probably to dwell on that. So, and by new normal, I would assume this is the life with AI in place. So I would probably ask all of you, the presenters or anyone out there, so what is the time-consuming thing? What exactly does it take time, and probably takes more time than we anticipate in the first place? What are the hindering factors of AI being widely used, not only in corporates, but in medium-sized companies? We saw a few great examples there, but also maybe in a public sector. Yeah. So whomever that might have their hypothesis. What is the time-consuming thing in the way to the new normal? Maybe Agri, you can actually shed your wisdom on that.
I have some good experiences and some bad experiences, and sometimes the most time-consuming is to get on the same page due to literacy, AI literacy, which is not always available there.
So actually avoiding abbreviations.
Yeah.
Good.
Just to avoid abbreviations or avoid Google during specification time of being on the same page. So that's my personal experience. So, but probably there were companies which specifically were working on integrating AI. It was Exacaster and Asia as well. So basically, you guys are working with real world solutions. And do you share the same opinions that we have? I mean, I share that. That was my opinion. Sorry.
What are the things why we're not into the new normality already?
Yeah.
So I can jump in, and I think I can only agree with what you said. Aligning the problem, aligning the objectives with business, with commercial people, when we are, let's say, representing data people, but the client is actually, usually they don't have too many data people, so we are more from business. That is tough. From purely data science perspective, if we talk about those more traditional AI/ML applications, like predictive modeling and all that, I think getting the correct data, cleaning the data, that takes, usually in our experience working with big enterprises, maybe 80% of the time, and actual data science part maybe 20% of the time. So that is like all the data cleansing is very, very, very complex, especially in bigger enterprise. The bigger the enterprise, the harder to get the data. And that is on these traditional machine learning projects, which we do quite a lot, more than GenAI projects, although I talked about GenAI. On GenAI, I think currently, let's say I do a project with a client, a real production type of project. And a lot of R&D is happening, and that takes a lot of time. And R&D is not particularly technical. For example, I will give example of one insight which we made, but like we made more. But let's say one example which is very, very clear. So, for example, when you prompt a large language model, and in our case it was OpenAI model, we had exactly the same prompt. Every single letter was the same, but we structured it differently. We bolded some things in the prompt using Markdown language. We put enter symbols, and the answer was completely different, like really, really different. Although the prompt itself was exactly the same, the sentences, the language was the same, just the formatting was different. So all those things, we are, for some we are already familiar, for some we are new. But that understanding those things is like a bit like playing with black box sometimes with like GenAI. So, and what kind of formatting to use? OpenAI uses one formatting, which is Markdown. Claude from Anthropic, for example, uses different formatting, which is XML. So all these things, in this GenAI type of project, that took and takes the most time, like prompt engineering and all that. So that is, let's say, my experience. Would be interesting to hear others.
Thanks, Justas. Any other takes? Why we haven't arrived yet?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I can actually see in my experience is that usually businesses who would like to implement something like that are quite stubborn in Baltics. And that's the thing we need to work on, because everyone wants to see like a working example, like a test example in their own specific industry, like a very specific one. But if there's not really an example yet, it's hard to get one because nobody actually wants to commit and be the first. And I think that's the hardest thing. People are still a little bit afraid of the AI and things like that, of the automation in the workspace, because there can be some errors. And yes, we are actually also warning people that there might be some errors. No model, no AI is 100% precise. But the benefits of automation are actually far beyond that, and that it's much better maybe for humans to work on the 10% which might be faulty, and to focus their work on something more meaningful. And that's the thing. That's actually the thinking I would like to say still need to adapt. And I think that's one of the biggest likely problems and why this is not the new normal.
Your hypothesis, Matis, is that no one wants to take a lead. Everyone wants to be a follower.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like many people want to just see a working example. Like we want to see like the same examples we will have in our own industry. Like our direct competitor has that, then we want that. Otherwise, like we won't reach that.
Yeah, I think the beautiful
it's like
example
reducing the risk.
Yeah, but I think the beautiful example Evelyn told us about is that you actually showcase those things, and that's the great way to break the ice. I fully agree, and even if it's remotely resembling your use case, it's still helpful, isn't it, Evelyn?
Yeah, I 100% agree, because it was the hardest part in the beginning, how to make contact on this topic and to even raise the awareness. So today, after ChatGPT came out in March 2023 and people started to use it, then the industry themselves actually understood as well, after they used it a little bit and understood, oh, what is AI, and started to putting, after a few trials with ChatGPT in their own working format, and they understood, okay, now I see what we can do, and they understood what we were talking about. And also the use cases in the club events that we do every month are literally based on industry examples, and each time we see a really big jump in our trainings program as well. And as well as we have a lot of clients, so it's been really working, the club events, and they really want to see it, as the previous talkers mentioned as well. But ChatGPT helped.
I think that is one thing what Simone emphasized. So just summing up, so that is a risk management on the enterprise share, and the other thing is overall sort of acceptance. So, I mean, it's about managing our own expectations from AI. Yeah. So we have some fancy stuff in mind. So basically LLMs will resolve everything, but it doesn't happen, right? So that is something that you, Evelyn, is trying to deliver us. Evelyn?
If that was a question to
Um,
Evelyn.
actually, I just, yeah, I know, I stayed looking
Yeah.
at chat question. But yes, it showed the path really clearly. So it showed that it's not a magical box, because before it was thought of as like something that is magic, but now they understood in depth.
I like term magic. So
I would. Yeah.
I have a
So-
quite different opinion. So,
please.
because we are a SaaS company, we automate everything. Our clients are not data scientists, are people who has the pain to find the data. They want to get answers on their unstructured data in our case. So we created all the tooling to automate all the magic. So they don't need to understand which is the best LLM for them. So they just do a query and they get the answer on all the possible LLMs. We have a tooling to generate the perfect prompt for the use case. We create a system to analyze the metrics and the answers to be able to understand what kind of content is missing on their data. Because at the end, in our use case is to be a SaaS, automated SaaS, everything is on the cloud. You can go sign up, easy no code, upload some documents and start to do generative things and get multiple options to have different experience with a guided UI. I think this is the key that the industry needs to provide to be. At the beginning, we were focusing on developers and we were focusing on data scientists, and it's really hard to get really good budgets and really good prospects to be able to get them on board. And for us, it's really important that we understand who has the pain and be able to understand that it's not magic, but engineers can build tools to automate the complex decisions.
This boils down to literacy, basically.
Thanks, Ramon. Yeah, indeed. I don't think it's a very different approach to what we're just a different angle to the same answer, because indeed the companies are not buying technologies most of occasions. They're buying solutions to their problems. However, that said, this is also too vague of a statement in the 21st century. That said, I would argue that you need to have a qualified customer to ask those questions, to have those problems. And again, if we go back maybe to your customer base, to your customers, eventually there are, I'm speculating and tell how wrong I am on that. They are more of a bigger companies, more of a corporate nature companies instead of SMEs, or am I wrong? Are the like medium-sized companies really know what they're missing? Is that the case?
Yes.
Wonderful.
So we have three kinds of clients. The small ones, they pay $100 per month. Medium size, $600, and enterprises. And we have a fully distributed base of customers with different use cases. And I can assure you that the 600 and the 100, we do not know them. It's everything automated. They sign up. They know what they want. They want to have a search experience or a generative experience, and they don't want to worry about anything. They just want to have the data, and they want to get good answers and be able to provide a good search experience. So that's this kind of use cases.
You're blessed with educated customers. What can I say? This is a good.
US, it's a different market. Also,
Eventually so. But again, it sort of. Sorry if I'm talking too much, but it also brings me to the actually the thing which Justus and Matthijs brought up on a different angle. It's largely, I would speculate again, similarly to what was Ramon suggesting, that this is a market situation. Because if there is a need, if there is an imminent need, of course, people and companies alike, they start moving. Yeah. If the markets are not competitive, what the heck? we're okay, right? If the markets are competitive, you better think how you can how you can outsmart and outperform that competition. Anyone else having take on that, or really move to the next topic? We have a few more.
Well, just to, it reminds my early career years, some 20 years back. Let's put it so. It was late 90s.
You're that young, huh?
Sorry.
No. I might.
Yeah.
Some of us have longer careers, so that's a compliment.
And at that point, I was a young system analyst in software development. So basically, the questions almost were the same about regular software that we do not possess now. And now we're discussing almost from the same positions about AI engineering. So at that time, it was software engineering. Now it's sort of AI engineering. Let's put it so. And basically, it boiled down to literacy, technology acceptance questions, trustworthiness. So basically, what we have on table today.
True.
So yeah, good to know. So basically, we're on another circle.
True. But rounding up this one, and I thank you, Ramon, for that insight. I think the market need, the necessity, is the driver in the end of the day, because if everyone's content with what we have, there's a fair chance that the way to new normality will take way longer than we would like to be. Any questions from you in the chat, or maybe adding things? I have a very weird question, as again at a business development background person, to all of you guys, because some of you mentioned that actually the bias has one of the concerns, one of the threats in developing AI solutions in a wider sense is them having or eventually amplifying the same biases that the data, which are actually human generated, right, largely possess. And my question is, I'm sorry for weird and being a devil's advocate, but why the bias is such a bad thing if the humanity has lived with the bias so far quite okay-ish? Is it from data scientists' perspective, is it some risk of getting it worse? Or is it maybe because of the bigger data amounts, it's actually correcting itself? Because I don't think, except a few occasions, I don't see being subjective and biased is such a big issue with humankind. Anyone, please?
Maybe I will take this one. I mean, classical example, of course, is like if you're doing some kind of image recognition and you have people of different skin colors, and that's a huge problem. Also, like for background features that we are currently using, some of us, if data set is trained on people who are from historical, let's say, Northern European regions, and it will not work for most of the world.
This is still around. How this corrective action has been made so far? Maybe we can introduce the same algorithmization into those models. We currently also perceive people, if unless we're colorblind, to it. Well, that's a silly example. I take it back, but differently. Why is the bias such a problem? There might be instances like public service, which is actually mandated being super objective. That's a slight problem. Exactly. But in other, or Agris has a strong opinion of public service penetration of AI.
Yeah, but basically that is one of those concerns in public administration, where actually public administration is responsible for objectiveness. That's their responsibility. That's our social deal with them. Mm-hmm. And basically at the point, for instance, if some social reliefs are being assigned to wrong people or are not assigned to the right people, let's put it so, then that is a problem. And then it might be even discriminative. Okay. So and that is a major concern. But public services probably are exception from the whole mainstream. And your question is still valid for businesses. I mean, for public administration is really a sort of a little bit aside.
No, just maybe, sorry to philosophize on that, but my thinking goes in the direction that if it doesn't make things worse, as it was, that we already there. So there are two actually forking, like a logical forking for me. If we want the AI, I'm sorry for like superficiality on that, but I think it's quite an interesting concept, at least to me. If we're interested, the AI helps us to streamline, fasten things, like make them quicker and whatnot. We're keeping the same level of bias. If we want them doing things better than we do, then we exposed to the issue. Am I right or wrong with that? Or was it too philosophical?
Surely correct. If see from regard of optimization, so traditional optimization is absolutely not in concurrence with AI. AI here surely perform much better results. It is not just faster, but it is not faster, but it is qualitatively better.
So we have to take care. We have to make sure that it is as little biased as possible in most of occasions.
That is.
Does anyone agree to that?
That is a question of our expectations, I think. So.
Yes,
so probably some. Go on, please.
Yes, at some point I'd agree with the question about the bias can have a great impact. Yeah, not only in private sector like in industry, business, and so on, but also in the public sector. From my point of view, bias can have a great impact on business, and it will depend because AI produces predictions. Yeah, something that we want to know about potentially the near future. Yeah, and how the revenue as a whole will work for a company. Yeah, that is applying AI and so on. If there is a big bias on that or some bias, what will happen in reality is that they will invest money and the return won't be the same as the AI predicted. So the bias introduced in the AI algorithm have a great impact in that sense. Yeah. So I think there is still some reluctancy from businesses. Some businesses still nowadays that are kind of rejecting using AI algorithms and so on. So they don't see the advantages of that. So that's kind of a big kind of question still ongoing for trying to attract business using this kind of technology.
Like to bring a little fuel in.
Yeah, and the last part is trustworthiness. Yeah, so to what extent we can rely on LAL, these ChatGPT answers that we are prompting from. Yeah, so there is still a lot of research ongoing, trying to do some clarifications, or if the statements that ChatGPT give us is true or not. Yeah, so at some point, and how that information that we receive from these chatbots have a great impact on the answers that we are going to be using from now on. Yeah, so how this information will impact, yeah, potentially any business or any other related problems.
I would like to bring a little fuel to that. I mean, I'm from the engineering part, so I usually want to answer on questions: how much, how often, how, those things.
Those are actually business questions.
Yeah. So, and
revenue models: how much and how often. Yeah.
And from those perspectives, is it a way? I mean, a practical way to answer on question: how much is the bias? I mean, and to what direction, for instance? Or for instance, when we validate models, so basically, I know about, test data and validation data and everything of that jazz, but on the other hand, how do we prove this? I mean, it never faces a reality, I mean. So that is the thing.
Yeah, how do we know the bias is the bias?
That is.
Yeah, that's exactly, that is what I was kindly hinting, and now now Agris nailed it. I guess again, data people help me, but I think the answer, the purely mathematical answer, is the more data there are out,
Oh, that's the usual stuff.
Yeah.
Engineers, we
The
need
more
data.
you can actually detect deviations from whatever is the mean, like the mean values or something. But yeah, but that's a beautiful question, because sometimes you can misinterpret things for biases which actually have intrinsic logics why they are
Probably they're
explained
natural.
or why they have provided the way they are.
Yeah, and probably they're natural. That's another
So
thing.
true.
That's
So
part of the
I'm
phenomenon.
once again. Thank you. I didn't assume Agris will help me with that, but this is also my kind of take where I was trying to lead all this, is that what is this standard? What is the level zero? What's the ground zero for that? Where you start measuring in which direction?
I think that is a question to companies. It's not to me. Definitely no. I'm a scientist. I can I can dive.
Yeah,
into
and you can always blame models being biased and for whatever reasons. But okay, this is again too vague, I think, for carrying on. Maybe we have some questions or quick topics. We still have like 5 minutes to be raised by the participants. For I'm super helpful that most of you actually haven't turned off the Teams call and you're still around. Very nice.
We have a very interesting topic that was raised in the chat. So someone would love to hear in this discussion, how do you believe the shape of the companies and businesses with the use of AI, and specifically what fields we need to use AI that can improve our daily life and also can be innovative ideas for new startups in any country around Europe?
No,
that's a very broadly pitched one, so we can maybe cut that in pieces.
Yeah, but there is one nice example I would like to bring on table. So, which is, well, I'm a little jealous, honestly. It's about Estonia. They're having the X-Road, It's about public administration sort of data exchange standards and data exchange, pipelines. And currently they have extended it towards, or working on it to extend towards having AI in the pipelines. So meaning it will be on the state level. So it means they're opening sort of standards, opening data structures for applying AI, which apparently should make our lives better. As there are some few people from Estonia, can you comment on that probably? And I suppose Evelyn should be in position to comment it.
I can solely discuss on top of that what you just said, that it is on government level, and yes, it's in that sense that it's priority, really high in priorities. Like wherever the government or state gives now money in, when it comes to R&D, then it needs to include AI, and the AI strategy is taken really seriously on governmental level. So wherever they put their funds in, then it has to have a factor in there. So it's all about making political decisions as well, and this is something that has already been politically accepted on government level in Estonia, that this is where we're going to focus on. And also they want to, the next step is the X-Road, is the real-time economy. They have the plan for the real-time economy development as well out, so it's the next step for the X-Road.
I haven't heard the term real-time economy. Yeah. So, well, probably let's not go into that. So,
the boss of the State Revenue Service can see each minute how much taxes have been. She has her office has collected. But I might maybe jump back to what Christina was reading the question. If I got it correct, the question is, what are the biggest potential spheres of influence of AI to the business, right? Something along the lines. And what are the ideas where should the ideas should go into? I think the answer is everything that is a real pain for you. If any business would ask the question to me, I most probably answer that way, that everything that has has a real pain for you, eventually might have some AI component to it to solve it, to alleviate it. And once again, the thing we touched upon, I don't believe businesses and even individuals, as we go back to the topic of the public service, that we should look for AI solutions. We should look and we should pay for and we should use solutions that just make our lives easier and more productive, etc., and less costly, and etc., etc. And I'm quite sure that most of them in upcoming years will have a one or other type of AI component to it. So don't fall in love with technology, but think about the things that can really solve it. That would be my answer to whomever was asking that question.
Absolutely. So because I think one of those drivers, which are business drivers, so basically technology per se doesn't advance itself, right? So it means we need those business drivers, we need basically
visions or visionary things along the lines.
Yeah.
Maybe landing a man to the moon was not exactly a business reason, it was a visionary thing.
Yes and
no. Geopolitical competition back then. I think we're slowly moving out of time. Agri, would you love to maybe ask some quick questions and then we can round it up?
Yeah, indeed. So if there are any final questions, probably, or final comments, so we would be happy to hear them, and please share them.
I guess it is. It's an afternoon in most of parts of where we live.
It's a Nordic discussion. I mean,
no, not really.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, and over to Christina.
Yep.
There is maybe some other things you want to round up on the project and some ideas. Oh, we had an idea. By the way, we had an idea back then that please. Anyone who is interested of those talks carrying forward, suggest us topics, suggest us things you want us to discuss, and we will be very, very attenuative to that. Isn't that correct, Christina?
Absolutely.
Yes, we have a feedback survey where that I will send it to you later today or tomorrow, and there you can fill in your overall thoughts about this workshop, and of course propose topics for future workshops. And we really want to hear from you, because in our internal meetings, I just want to highlight something. When we were discussing what we should do and how we could find out more, we really thought that we need to do something that it will be useful for the SMEs and for our participants. So we are really interested in finding out more about what would you be interested in finding out and discussing during such workshops.
Yeah, thanks, Christina. So anyone else want to take floor for some final remarks or suggestions? Artis, yes. Artis, please, floor is yours.
Thank you, Agris. Thank you, everyone, for having me today. So I'm Artis from Riga Technical University, Digital Innovation Lead from the Science Innovation Center. So really exciting the examples and your discussions. So and I have great news, and would really like to share a little bit information with you, with this community, because the topic is related and specifically would say will be organized for Baltic academies or universities and AI ecosystem. So let me share my screen and we'll show you shortly. So almost half a year we already had discussions with Meta and IBM for potential artificial hackathon in Riga in this year. So we are right now organizing and setting up the would say it's not officially announced yet, but you are the first who will have this information regarding. So yeah, we will organize here in Riga and in partnership with Teltech and Vilnius Tech. So what is it about? Shortly, yes, that the aim is to upskill or would say students or AI developer community. So that's very, very important. Of course, give and enable possibility for new startup rising in our Baltic ecosystem. So that's the main aim for this hackathon. So how it will be organized, the hackathons, how they typically are 48-hour hackathons, and our ambitions is to have at least 100 students and like 30 teams, and with some experts from all Baltic countries. So it possibly will be in October. So why I'm sharing this information with you? Because we need support, and we need probably you, most of you, as an experts for this hackathon. Of course, we will need support to share information and to get the best talented students, to attract them. And of course, we need to understand who would be interested to become as a partners, and of course some motivation for students are needed as well. So if you are interested in that activity in this hackathon, so please, this is my email, write me directly, and then I hope it will be possible to share this information with you later. Thank you.
Artis, is it online or on site?
We are ambitious to do this in Riga. Yeah, so if
so
we
it's
will
on
gather,
site.
yeah, on site, exactly. So there are depends on the budget and everything. So we would like to organize some pre-event as well, and maybe some online trainings before, so to prepare the students for someone who will be needed. So that depends on our like pockets, how much money we could spend, how much partners will be. So if there will be good support, then we will do additional activities in online. But event is or will be organized, presented here in Riga. With option to transport those students from the Estonia and Lithuania. I would say I would go a little bit further, not only Taltech and Vilnius Tech. So let's open this option for everyone, student in the Baltics. So not only the main tech universities. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Are there any other final remarks on the matters we discussed or probably didn't discuss, and probably you want them to be discussed in near future?
There is an additional question, but I will put it on the short part because there is an entire comment in the chat. So the question on the short is, if you believe, so I'm asking everyone, if you believe that we need to have more regulation for the use of AI, and it's obviously faster and cheaper than the human need. So do we need more regulation related to AI? I hope that I summarized everything right. If not, I invite the person that wrote the comments to speak to us.
Yes, there is a nice question about the EU Artificial Intelligence Act, which is taking place starting from 2026. So definitely it will be there. Do we need more? Well, I'm not in favor of that.
Let's see the first. Let's see the first sort of framework start working, and then decide. Yeah. I would ironize to that question which part of the world this question is asked from. Yeah. If Europe, then I would probably go with no. If there are some other territories which might render a different type of answer.
Absolutely. Okay then. So now we are approaching to the to the final end. Let's put it so.
The end of the end.
The end of the end. Yeah,
we can't part. We like you so much, guys. We can't call it a day. But I think we should. So
Yeah.
thank you once again very much, everyone. Let us know what you want us discussing next. And till next then. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.